everyone, and welcome to another apartment renovation. Today I'm making a simple starter apartment in the fashion district of San Myshuno, and I ended up using a lot of the items that came with the most recent patch in this apartment. I was originally going to just call it a freelancer's apartment, but then I remembered I don't think I've ever really made a starter apartment before. I made grungier, lower-end apartments, but I always end up sticking so much clutter in them that they ended up costing around 30,000 simoleons. So I really wanted to go in and make something that was a bit more practical, that you could just throw into your game and move someone into right off the bat without any money cheats. And because this is a starter apartment versus a starter home, I was able to just pack so much more into it. Like, I was able to actually make it feel pretty well decorated. I was also able to add several different skill building items and activities into it. So there's a lot more than just the basics in this apartment, and my goal with it was to make something that felt overall pretty generic, like it could work for many different kinds of Sims, but I also wanted to have a little bit of personality, so it wasn't just all neutral colors and bland items. So it's something I feel will work for many different kinds of Sims, while at the same time not feeling like super bland and boring. Like, it's got a little bit of, like a little bit of color to it, and I really am happy with how it came out. And I had a lot of fun with it. And I know the last build I did, which was that Victorian home called A Little Strange, was something that was kind of centered around these freelancing items. But that build was very specific. Like, it was made with a super specific backstory in mind. So it was something that wasn't really useful for a lot of people's gameplay. So I wanted to create something using those items that was a lot more practical, that could be used by many different people. Because that build really only worked if you played it in with the Sims that I made for it, or if you happen to make Sims that fit that very specific build, or if you change it around so much that it worked for your Sims. And while I really enjoy doing creative builds like that have super specific backstories for them, I also like to balance it out with builds that are a little bit more practical and that could be more widely used. But what I did first with building this apartment was that I went through and I added in all the basics that I knew I wanted, just to see how much money that would take up, and then from there I went and added more of the details. So I'm just kind of finishing up adding the basics here, and now that I see I have plenty of money left, I'm just going through and furnishing the bathroom in a more detailed way. And then after this, I went back and added detail to the kitchen, I added detail to the living room, added detail to the bedroom, of course. So that worked really well, because when I went in to build this, I moved someone in just so I made sure I didn't spend too much money, and it was something that you actually could purchase without using money cheats. And when you see this build on the gallery, it will say that it costs around 22,000 simoleons, but it will actually be something you can afford without cheats when you place it, because I think with apartments, you don't have to pay for any of the walls. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So that is kind of neat. Like, I was able to add more walls in, like that wall I added around the shower to kind of make the shower look more built in. And that wasn't something that contributed towards raising the price. Because, yeah, I'm pretty sure with apartments, you only pay for the furnishing. So that was another thing that really made it so I was able to add more detail to this apartment. Like, right here, I'm just adding some clutter to these shelves above the toilet. And I don't know, I just was really happy that I was able to do that with a starter build. Although it still isn't quite as cluttered as I would usually make my builds. But I still think it looks pretty good for something like this that is a starter build. And watching this video, you might notice that things look a little bit different in my game. So I did two things. The first thing is that I toned down my reshade settings because I wasn't really feeling how bright it was before. So I made it so that it was really only a subtle change over the game's original lighting, and I probably should have done this sooner because I just really like how this looks so much more. And then the other thing is that I did get a new graphics card, so that's probably something you're not going to notice as much in this video. Like, I think most of the change you're noticing here over my previous videos was from the reshade preset being toned down, but I feel like there is actually a difference in how the game looks from getting the new graphics card, but it's probably something mainly only I would notice because I pay a lot closer attention to the game. But like, the biggest thing that the graphics card did was that it made my game run smoother, because it ran pretty well before, but I would just get lag like when I moved or panned the camera. Like, I would notice the game would slow down a little bit. Also, if I went to a lot that had a lot of mirrors or founds on it, my game would just start to lag a little bit. But with this card, like, there's no issues. Like, it just handles everything without breaking a sweat. So it's really nice. Like, I've been wanting a new graphics card for a while, so I was really happy that I was finally able to get one. So I think you'll really notice a difference in gameplay videos because it just works so much smoother now. And My computer just also complains less when playing the game and recording at the same time, because before I would just hear like the fans kicking on like crazy. Because another thing I did was that I replaced my CPU fan, which isn't really as exciting, but I was using the crappy stock fan that came with my processor before, and I just realized like I don't think it was doing a proper job of cooling my computer. So while I was opening up my case to replace the graphics card, I figured that was another thing I should probably change. So between those two things, my computer is just running a bit better now. It's not like I don't have fans kicking up like crazy. It's not complaining as much. So I'm just really excited about these changes. And I was also able to tweak my recording settings, so I'm able to get better quality out of my recordings. So you'll definitely notice an increase in video quality, and the graphics card also helps with being able to edit and render videos quicker. So I'm just really excited about these changes. And I also just like to geek out a little bit about computer components and specs in general. And I got super lucky with the graphics card thing too, because the prices got kind of jacked up with the whole cryptocurrency thing. But one of my coworkers, like I actually got the graphics card for one of my coworkers, because he came in and asked if anyone was interested in buying a GTX 1070 Ti, and I instantly was like, yes, I would like it. And I actually got a pretty much new card for the price of a used one. So I got my graphics card for about half the price of what it would cost new. So it was just seriously too good of a deal to refuse. And I'm glad I waited a little bit longer to get the graphics card, because I got this opportunity. So that's just what I'm really excited about right now. But currently in the build, I'm working on adding more detail, like just adding more decorations to the bedroom here. So I used that really cute decoration that came with, I think it was movie hangout stuff. Like I keep forgetting to use that decoration, but it's seriously so cute. And I felt like it really fit the vibe of this apartment. And this apartment definitely has a younger feel to it, of course. Like I really imagine it's something that could work for many different kinds of young adult Sims. And as I said, there's a lot of different activities in here. Like you've got the keyboard, you've got a computer, you've got a video game system. I think there's a few other things I added to it, but yeah, it's definitely a little bit more than just your basic starter build. And I was just really in the mood to do something a little bit more simple this week, just between the whole installing the graphics card and CPU fan, because doing both of those took way longer than I thought they were going to. So my computer was down for a bit more than I thought it was going to be. And then it was also one of those weeks where no matter what I tried, like I just couldn't get an actual build to look right. Like I had a great idea and I went to go build it, and I just could not get anything to work out. So I was like, you know what? I just want to build a nice, simple apartment this week. So here we are. But we are almost at the end of the building part of the video. So as usual, if you want to download this, there will be a link to do so in the description. There'll also be other stuff in there, how to find in-game. And that's going to be all for me. So hope you enjoy the rest of the video.